Have you ever came across these type of live streams before? Among all the live streaming trends, one genre grabs the most attention, which is group streaming. China's Douyin live streams set trend after trend, and if you ever see a fresh or fun idea on TikTok Live, I guarantee China did it first. You can make a lot of money from Douyin group streaming, and because of that, many young people join this industry, especially those who have been unemployed for a long time. Cause Lord, the youth unemployment rate in China is extremely high. However, this line of business comes with some concerns, and many people advise against joining it, like even in your darkest moments when you can't find any jobs. I'll explain why later, but first, let's talk about what group streaming actually is. So group streaming is a group of people who gather together to do live streaming. Usually it's dance performance. Group streaming has been around for about 3 years and it's still growing. On almost every swipe on Douyin, you can see group streams. So does that mean this line of business makes a lot of money? Oh yeah, it's a lucrative business. Some industry insiders estimate that by 2025, the group streaming market is expected to reach 15 billion yuan, with the total number of group streaming rooms reaching between 5,000 and 7,000. Now, let's talk about different types of groups. These group streamings mainly come in 4 types of formation: boy groups, girl groups, lesbian groups, and mixed gender groups. This is even listed on job hunting website. To spice up the fun, some groups adopt a theme. For example, there are groups where members dress up in anime or game costumes, dress up as a movie characters, like the landlady from Kung Fu Hustle, dress up as the cheesy rom-com duo of the CEO and the poor regular girl, dress up in traditional Chinese clothing. There's nothing that they cannot do, only things you haven't thought of. As for dance performances, the type of dance that they usually do is TikTok style dance. You know, the ones with minimal body movements. After all, you have to be live for a couple of hours, so you can't do regular dancing this whole time. So the common dance performances for group streaming are the regular TikTok dance type, sometimes with a little bit thirst trap energy. Look. Wow. As you can see, men's thirst traps are much spicier than women's because they're less likely to get banned on Douyin. The sweeping the floor with one leg in the dark type, you only see their silhouette. It's giving a sensual vibe. The get in the car chanting type. No, seriously, their chant literally tells you to get in the car.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
For this one, the appeal is that when you donate, they'll say your name followed by some sweet compliments. Some people like to hear compliments, especially from pretty people. Here's the English version if you want to know what they're chanting.
Wood brother, let's go.
Wood brother, are you ready? Go, go, go! La 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 la! Hands up! Oh, brother, super handsome!
So handsome, Wood brother, very handsome.
Handsome, why you so handsome, Wood brother?
Wood brother, super handsome.
Bye-bye!
The visual effect type. For this one, the camera operator shoot live footage in real time and release pre-recorded videos at the same time to create this visual effect. I would say this is very cool. The traditional Chinese dance type, which honestly makes me feel like an emperor. And it's free. It's free to watch. And then there are some unique performances, such as dancers and the camera operator sharing the same screen. I don't get the appeal, but okay. It's nice to see the behind the scene, I guess. And whatever they're serving here. Just when you thought you have seen it all. No you haven't. Here's the thing with group streaming. When one song starts trending, or a popular group dances to it, suddenly everyone on Douyin is dancing to that one song, and they'll keep rolling with it until the wheels fall off. Here's an example. When I was recording footage for this video, I kept hearing the song Alive from different group streams. Hey, I love that song, but I'm so sick of hearing it. And the thing that drives me insane is that group streams only dance to this one song for the entire stream. Sure, they'll switch to different songs here and there based on donations, but the song Alive is basically the main song that they will always return to. If you watch any of those group streams, you will see that they dance to a short section of the song for about 30 seconds, stopped. And then they repeat the same dance over and over. When you first watch group streaming, it feels fun, it's attention grabbing, and you might stick around for a while until you notice it gets pretty robotic pretty soon. So why do people watch group streaming if it's like that? Hey listen, every time you think, who would spend money on this? That just means you're not the target audience. There are plenty of people who are willing to spend money on this. And what do they get out of this? Emotional value. Group streaming gathers good-looking people, dresses them in stylish outfits, gives them dazzling makeup and hairstyles, stunning studio lighting, a nice backdrop, and professional camera work. The result is the illusion that you're watching an idol group. And the group streaming economy is similar to the idol economy. Fans spend a lot of money to support their idols because of their work or their appearance, and they're willing to pay for more interaction. The same thing applies to group streaming, where the audience donates to streamer for their performances or simply for their looks. The more you donate, the more interaction you get. For example, donors typically get a thank you message or a special dance on the menu. If you're a first-time donor, the live streamer will even DM you to thank you and have a short conversation, and sometimes they will follow up with the conversation even after the live stream. So let's say if they're trying to grow their fan base, they will follow up with the conversation with their donors, just to chat about daily lives, something like that. This is actually considered part of the job, called community engagement. So there are people out there who enjoy this kind of emotional value. They just love to spend a small amount of money in exchange for emotional value from good-looking people. Some people see streamers like stand-ins for idols, but the difference is streamers provide much more companionship than idols, and those people love the journey of building their favorite streamers from the ground up, like how they would support idols. They feel like they can grow with the streamers, and it's like playing an RPG game or an otome game. And some just can't stand seeing their favorite live streamer lose in a PK battle. By the way, battle makes the most money for live streamers because your donation is the deciding factor whether they win or lose. There's one thing that really surprised me when I researched the target audience of group streaming. There's a girl group named SK 005, and 95.3% of their followers are girls. Surprise, surprise! I always thought guys would be the ones watching pretty girls and sending donations, but it turns out girls are actually the main audience. Now, live streaming as a career is nothing new, but group streaming is, and it seems like a lot of entertainment companies are actively hiring. In Shanghai, the average income for group streamers is 13,000 yuan per month. Keep in mind that I only used the lower end of the salary spectrum to calculate the average, since I assume the higher end is probably heavily inflated. To be honest, I think even the lower end is quite inflated too, just to draw people in. You will understand why later in the video as I cover the contract and the day-to-day work routine. For comparison, this is the salary range for entry-level to mid-level accountants in the same city. In today's world, many countries are facing a difficult job market and persistently high unemployment rates, especially among young people. In China, the youth unemployment rate is 18.9%, which means almost 1 in 5 young people are unemployed. That's a lot. For young adults aged 25 to 29, the unemployment rate is 7.2%. And you know what country is on par with China? Canada. Canada's youth unemployment rate is almost on par with China's, at 14.6% in July this year. Because so many young people can't find a job, they often have to settle for less desirable jobs, and some of them end up choosing group streaming. Up to this point of the video, you probably have a somewhat positive or at least neutral impression of this career, aside from it being cringy. It doesn't sound like there's any real harm in it. So why do some people advise against joining this industry? Let's get into the ugly reality. The public concerns can be grouped into 3 main reasons. Number 1, suggestive private messages. Number 2, a shift in one's values due to the working environment. And number 3, physically demanding labor with low pay. Let's break them down. Dancing in front of the camera is the main task of the job, but there are other responsibilities as well. When dancers finish group streaming, they need to send private messages to first-time donors to thank them and chat a little bit. I actually have seen dancers go live on their personal accounts after the group stream to chat with their fans. These interactions are meant to provide emotional values to donors so they keep coming back to donate. It's all about business. It's a business move. On the surface, it doesn't sound like much of a problem, but if the dancer is a woman, you can imagine what kind of messages she gets. Even if the messages are suggestive or flirtatious, she often has to play along to maintain good relationships with donors, and that can get very uncomfortable. Another sad truth is, male streamers and female streamers are treated very differently by their fans. Most male streamers who do group streaming or solo streaming have female fans, and those fans are very polite, in a way like how they will treat idols, and rarely say anything vulgar. On the contrary, you'll see male streamers saying not so nice things in their group chats. However, female streamers will absolutely face a ton of disgusting private messages. Let's talk about the second concern, which is the change in one's value. So earlier this summer, a phrase went viral in China. After doing group streaming, I almost forgot what I used to do for a living. Many people express concern that this phrase is a warning sign because it shows young people are leaning towards selling sexual appeal rather than pursuing jobs that make actual contributions to society. And that can set a bad example for the younger generation. On the other hand, working in this industry long enough can make you overly anxious about your appearance. When you're in this line of business where it sells sexual appeal and your good-looking teammates get a lot of donations, it will crush your confidence. And that will make you want to spend more money to improve your appearance, whether that be buying more makeup or invest in plastic surgery. Speaking of spending more money, some companies actively encourage streamers to buy luxury goods to raise their spending habits and change their view of consumption. So even if some streamers make a lot of money, like 80,000 or 100,000 yuan a month, many of them end up spending it all quickly under the company's influence, and they can't save anything. So for those who think they can just make some quick cash and leave, it's actually really hard. If you think this is bad, actually, that is not the worst thing this industry can do to change your value. A streamer revealed that not every bank mail donor wants to flirt, but the majority are in for the romance. If one of your teammates takes shortcuts and becomes successful, the performance pressure within the same group can be huge, and that can easily lead people to the wrong path. The shortcuts here refer to meeting with donors offline, dating donors, or straight up sleeping with donors. In the same comment, the streamer said, "Companies, managers, and hosts don't force you to do anything." Though that is true, but it's only limited to good companies because there are other companies who will ask their streamers to do meet-up with their big donors offline. Alright, I know not every donor is sleazy, but when streamers do this kind of meetup, unlike a formal meet and greet event, their safety is not guaranteed. Let's talk about the third concern. This industry looks good on the surface, with job posts even claiming that streamers can earn over 40,000 yuan a month. But in reality, the work is extremely exhausting, and new streamers often struggle to make any money. Many streamers only realize they can't handle the intense workload after joining the industry. In a lot of job posts, they require employees to dance for 6 to 8 hours. That doesn't sound like a problem, right? But here's a hidden catch. Those 6 to 8 hours are not your total working hours at the company. Here's what's really going on. Outside of those streaming hours, you need to spend at least 1 hour on makeup, 2 hours for dance practice. So if you add these hours with 6 hours streaming, already 9 hours is gone. And remember, companies give you a mid-break in between streaming, like we see in the previous job post. So let's say they give you a minimum 1 hour break. Plus you need to do community engagement after streaming. And let's say that takes 1 hour. So your total working hours is 11 hours. Oh, by the way, you only get 4 to 6 days off per month. Yeah, so this job is much more physically demanding than what most people expect. Of course, it's not as physically demanding compared to other jobs like coal miners, but you know, people have wrong expectations for group streaming because on the surface, it looks easy. On top of that, some streamers don't read the contract terms carefully before entering the industry, and they mistake guaranteed payment for a base salary. So after joining the industry, busting their backs working, and then realize they can't make enough money after the first couple of months, they end up breaking their contracts just to regain their freedom. Okay, let's rewind a little bit and talk about the difference between a guarantee payment and a base salary. If a job post says they will give you 6,000 to 10,000 yuan guarantee payments plus commission per month, you'll probably think that means 6,000 to 10,000 yuan base salary plus commission, right? Wrong. I was so wrong for thinking like that as well. A guarantee payment is not the same thing as a base salary. Let's use 6,000 yuan guarantee payments as an example to explain how this works. Say like you do group streaming and earn 1,000 yuan in your first month. The company will then pay you 5,000 yuan to make sure you reach the guarantee payment of 6,000 yuan. In the second month, if you earn 3,000 yuan, then the company will pay you 3,000 yuan. In the third month, if you earn 6,000 yuan, then the company doesn't need to pay you. Got it? So, if a job post says 6,000 yuan guarantee payments for the first 3 months, by the fourth month, if you make no money, the company no longer has to pay you a single dime to guarantee you earn 6,000 yuan for that month. By the way, this is not a shady business practice. It's just a term that a regular 9-to-5 employee would never hear about because guarantee payments are used by businesses structured as partnerships, including LLCs. With these type of business, partners don't take salaries, so guarantee payments are a way to ensure that they get a steady income stream, even if the business doesn't make a profit. Let's talk about breaking the contract. If you do so, you're gonna have to pay a hefty penalty fee for breach of contract. And I hate to break it to you, but some entertainment companies actually make a portion of their revenue from these penalties. Some companies set streamers up for failure intentionally, and that is a shady business practice. So when you sign any contracts, read every line in the contract like this commenter. Read it out loud. Ask them a lot of questions for clarification. You know, this is just a really good tip in general for signing any legal documents in your life. So yeah, before you learn anything about being a group streamer, you would think it's all easy work. It's just talking with your fans, dancing in front of the camera. But if you actually look into this industry and look into the jobs, you will notice it's a bad deal for most people. You know, there are people who make a lot of money from being a group streamer. It's just that for a lot of newbies who join this industry, it's not really a good deal. A lucrative opportunity attracts all sorts of people. Just be careful that you're not the prey. The group streaming industry is giving me the gold rush vibe, but I'm not sure how many years can this last. It's time to say goodbye now, and I hope you learned something from this video. Until next time.